If you poke around the engine bay of a classic Triumph TR6 Jaguar type or later Volvo 140 series, you eventually spot these distinct rectangular plastic housing mounted right on the side of the Stromberg carburetor. This is the automatic temperature compensator. It's a perfect example of how automotive engineering evolved. My older Volvo 140 series with B18 engine has a clean, simple carburetor without this device. But my B20 powered 140 series 1972 has it. Patrick's Garage. Today we are going to break down exactly why the factory added this piece, why it causes so many baffling tuning problems today, and how classic owners deal with it when it fails. To understand why this device exists, we have to look at changing emission laws in the late 1960s and early 1970s. It was introduced primarily as an early anti-pollution device to handle a very specific problem: heat shock. Think about what happens when your classic car is idling in heavy traffic on a hot summer day. The air inside the engine bay gets incredibly hot, and physics tells us that hot air expands, making it less dense. In simple terms, hot air means less oxygen, because the air contains less oxygen, but the carburetor fuel jet is still pouring in the exact same amount of gasoline. Your idle mixture suddenly becomes heavily overrich. The engine begins to load up, stumble, and pollute. To prevent this, the engineers designed an automatic air bleed valve. Inside this housing sits a bimetallic strip that responds to temperature. When the ambient heat rises, that metal strip bends, lifting a tiny rubber valve off its seat to purposefully leak extra unmetered air directly into the throat. This counteracts the rich condition, and this thins the mixture back out. Right inside this housing is a tiny nut meant for factory calibration. If a previous mechanic didn't comprehend how this system works, they usually made the mistake of tightening that calibration nut down as hard as they could. The moment you do that, you permanently bend and deform the bimetallic strip. Once that metal is warped, the valve is ruined. It will either refuse to open when the car gets hot, causing the engine to choke, or it will get stuck wide open. Permanently open valve creates a massive untunable vacuum leak that makes a smooth idle completely impossible. Because recalibrating these original bimetallic strips requires immense practice and patience and special equipment. A lot of vintage car enthusiasts choose to eliminate the headache completely. A highly popular old-school modification application is to bypass the system. Owners will fabricate a solid block of gasket or use a sealant to close up the air passages permanently, completely disabling the compensator. But that introduces a new question. How do you correct your fuel tuning after changing the airflow? Many 1970s Volvos came from the factory with emission-compliant pressed-in main jets that offer no built-in adjustment. The trick here is to upgrade your carburetor by converting it to a fully adjustable bottom main jet setup. By installing an adjustable main jet, you regain manual control over your fuel-air ratios, allowing you to tune out by hand without relying on this compensator. Now, if you prefer to keep your classic machine 100% original, you need to know that these temperature compensators are not universal. A unit pulled off a Triumph or a Jaguar might look identical on the outside, but it will have a completely different internal calibration. And the good news for restorers is that the aftermarket has stepped up. If your housing is cracked or the internals are warped, you don't have to scrap the whole carburetor. There are dedicated specialty vintage stores online that still supply brand new plastic lids, fresh rubber sealing rings, and even complete pre-calibrated replacement assemblies. Whether you choose to keep the compensator active on your B20 engine for historical accuracy, or you prefer bare-bones simplicity of the early B18 style, understanding this little device is vital for keeping your classic running smoothly. If your car runs flawlessly when it's cold, but begins to run terribly the moment the engine bay gets hot, stop chasing ignition problems and look at this plastic housing first. It's a quirky stone-edge approach to emissions control, but it's an undeniable piece of classic automotive history. I'll catch you in the next one on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing.